Hey everybody, welcome to The Remedy. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Ntalleresco, and you're listening to us live on the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. You can access the show by typing in www.themicroeffect.com, then click on the appropriate links, the chat room links. Come on in, make friends, get acquainted, solve some issues, save the planet. I'm also published at several different sites all over the place. ByeByeBlueSky.com, Brian396.com, GagCanada.com, and throughout the internet. So feel free to check out those sites, get informed on what's going on currently on the planet as well as what's going on in your body. I want to get into some things today. I want to start off with Susan Marr did a interview. So if you guys have a chance, go check it out on the YouTube. It's called Geoengineering and Globalism. I only got about 3/4 of the way through because every time I went to listen to it, somebody, some way, somehow kept on, coming in the store or something was going on. But from what I was listening to it, it was a very well done interview. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. I think it's good that you get other perspectives of other people who are concerned. Remember something here. Any of us who are doing what we're doing, nothing special here. Just people are concerned and taking an active role in trying to make a change for the better. That's all it is. That's all we are. Nothing more, nothing less. Just people who are concerned and taking a stand. It's important to understand that any of us can make a difference, and that we all, if we work together at it as a cooperative, or as a collective, can do far more as in cooperation with each other. And as you can see, there's, everybody here on this, where we're at here, is pushing the other person, promoting the other person, because it's important that the messages get heard. It's not about ego, it's not about anything else, it's about you getting that message and then taking the initiative to make a change. So anyway, if you get a chance, go to Geoengineering and Globalism. It's on the YouTube. Just trying to see if there's any other. Stephen Garvey is the founder and leader of the National Citizens Alliance with Susan Marr. So, National Citizen Alliance, if you can't find it, try that. Like I said, it'll be a good. From what I heard of it so far, it's very impressive, and I think, like I said, you will all gain something from this. So again, when you get a chance, check it out, Geoengineering and Globalism. As per usual, I get all these questions. Now I got to talk about something today. That hey everybody, how's everybody in the chat room? Hello. I'm glad you guys made it in. I had a couple people call me this week, and they were pretty broken up about what's going on. And it's important that you understand the nature of artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence will drive you to a state of insanity. Okay? When people tell me that they're taking on other people's pain and suffering, that's the artificial intelligence telling you this. It's one thing to be empathic, but it's another thing to bear that pain in such a way where it brings you down. If that's going on, you need to quit. That's a program routine designed to disable you, make you feel dysfunctional. It's designed to affect your head and the rest of you. Because if I got you believing and thinking in terms of, something negative, you are going to go in that room, and then you're going to get emotional, especially if you're a woman. And this is not a gender bender thing. This is the way it is. Women get into a whole lot of emotionalism with this stuff, and then they become completely incapacitated. You have to understand that the nature of what we're dealing with today is a sophistication that we've never dealt with before. It's insane. It's insanity. The way things are going. Give me 1 second here. I got something that's clicking and I want to turn it off because it's going to drive me nuts while I'm doing the show. Hold on 1 second. It'll take me 10 seconds. Be right back. Okay. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that. Like I said, I have got one of my devices going, and it's blocking frequencies or whatever, and decided at the show to let go. It's like, okay, talk about a planned AI assault. Frequencies are very powerful, and programming is extremely powerful. And so when you're hearing a lot of things that are out there, some new age nonsense, even some biblical stuff that you may hear in some of these ministries or churches, because you got to remember, a lot of these ministers in the churches today, in the pulpits today, are Masonic or Protocols of Zion, the Jesuits, or Illuminati or something. You'll find very few mainstream churches today that have not been infiltrated. Even on the lower level, you always have some sort of infiltration going on in the church. So this is why it's important that you read. If you are a believer, to read the text of your Bibles and to listen to that, not people. I'm of the mindset that when I read something or see something, it's all based on my personal relationship with God, and so whatever I'm seeing is what's designed or intended for me to know. And that's how you guys should start thinking in those terms. It's by faith you're saved, and so it says. So that if that's the case, then it's up to you to maintain, not listen to a bunch of baloney from people that are there to try to, mislead you into hell. Think about that for a minute. Think about the programming you're getting in just churches. Think about the programming you're getting from just the television, whether it's an evangelical show, whether it's a news program, whether it's a documentary, whether it's a cartoon. Cartoons are designed to program your children. Whether it's a what do you call those? Soap operas, entertainment, comedies. These are all designed in their own frequency to assimilate a thought process inside of you. So when you see certain things or you hear certain things and you start believing these things, you are now subjecting yourself to a program. Here's an interesting verse in the Bible. I just thought about it today, and I thought how interesting this is. It sounds like frequency. When Christ says in John 3, he says, the Spirit blows where it wills, and you hear the sound of it, but you neither know where it comes or whither it goes. So it is those who are born of the Spirit. Born of the Spirit, that's a frequency. That's an attenuation of a specific frequency, that you are born of the Spirit, or born of God. The Spirit blows where it wills, and you hear the sound of it. That's a frequency. We hear frequencies all the time. AM and FM frequencies, radio frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies, tower frequencies. We hear the buzzing noises in our heads all the time. Okay? It almost sounds like we're talking about frequencies in this text. Okay, it blows where it wills, and you hear the sound, but you don't know where it's coming or where it's going. And we don't know where these frequencies come from or where they're going. Another verse, if you're looking at it, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but powers and principalities, or principles and ideologies. Principles and practices. We're not wrestling with truth. We're wrestling with ideologies and principles and dark forces, and these are frequencies. So when you're listening to these frequencies and you allow those frequencies to program you, you get in trouble. Okay, we are all dealing with nano poisoning on any level. Doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter if you're showing any symptomology or not. Doesn't matter if you're broken down. Doesn't matter whatever. We are all dealing with it. We're all eating this stuff. We're all breathing this stuff. Whether or not you believe some of the things that are being displayed on the YouTube, I see a lot of things, and I see the merit to what I'm seeing, what some people are doing. One guy cut a grape and had it microwaved. Somebody wrote me back, so I didn't see that happen. Well, I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but hey, if you didn't, you didn't. But this guy obviously just showing you that there was sparking coming from the grape. And another person did it with a potato. Those hash browns that you buy, she put them in there and started sparking. Now, I want to give you guys something to try. An experiment, if you will. Get a slice of bread or a couple slices of bread, put them in the microwave. Spray a little water, distilled water, nothing else, or reverse osmosis. Just distilled or reverse osmosis. Just a light spray on the bread, and then proceed to hit it with a nuker. See what you get. I'd be curious to see some of your results, those of you who are listening to the program. Do this with other fruit. Cut your apples, cut your peaches, cut your plums, cut your oranges. Put them in a microwave. Put a glass over it. See if you can get a spark going. See if you see sparks happening. This would be more than indicative that something is going on in the food supply. Now, and then even if you don't see a spark, smell what's coming out. If you're smelling a chemical of some kind being released from the food you're microwaving, then you know you've got a contaminant going on in there. There's more than one way of looking at what we're doing here. It's called having observational skills, so you can see and observe what is happening. Okay, what you're smelling, what the reaction was after you got done microwaving. What did the food look like? Did it dissolve? Did it disperse? Did it become super hard? You know, did it become? Did you see the arcing? Did you see maybe lines spread and form? See, because with nanobiology or synthetic biology, the moment you assault it, it will then change its morphology. And after you do nuke the foods, if you do decide to nuke them, leave them on a counter covered so if you have pets or whatever, nobody can touch it. And then check it the next day and the day after. You might be surprised what will manifest in the food. See, we did that thing, same idea, but we did it with coils. We put wrapped the coils around the container. We put some beverages in there, and all of a sudden the nano released itself. So now, to get everybody more on board here, take some of the foods that you're consuming. If they're not wet, put a little moisture on them, because the one key thing about that grape had water in it. Well, the water itself may have had the contaminant as well, but if the water's inside the grape and you're eating the grape, you're going to get that contaminant. This is the observational skills that you have to pay attention to. If the stuff is in the seed, let's say you pull it out and you see the seeds are scorched, then you might want to look at a scope, maybe 100x, 100 magnification, to see what you see that's scorched. And you might see tiny little metal balls. Those are bots. Those are nanobots that might be coming out of the seed. So I'm trying to show you ways that you can, again, alarm yourselves and alarm everybody around you, make everybody aware. Hey, come over here, take a look at this. I put an apple in the microwave. I peeled the apple, and look at the bloody thing spark. I got an electrical show going on. Whoa, look at that grape. She's just dancing all over that plate. Look at that bread. Oh, my gosh, she's sparking like a 4th of July. Or look at this. I put the bread in there the day before, and I gave it a nuke, and look at today. It looks like a brick. Or it crumbled to dust. Then examine it again. Then examine it again. Run a charge to it, see if it'll charge. Like I said, we are not in those good days. We're not living in the back 1970 anymore. If any of you still think that the food supply is safe, I'm not sure what it's going to take other than a cartoon. By the way, if any of you out there know a good cartoonist, let me know. Because I want to start putting cartoons up on site, because I have learned something. I had a revelation last night. I was trying my best, racking my brain, trying to think, how can I present a message to everybody so that they can understand it. And I thought about the Egyptians. The Egyptians used cuneiform. Cuneiform was the comic book language. Okay, it wasn't the written word, it was a comic book language. Because the Egyptian people became so bloody stupid, they didn't know how to read or interpret what they were reading anymore. So I had a brainstorm. Because we've got so much lithium in the air, and because you're exposed to so much aluminum and so much titanium and nano-silver, and now this damn carbon C60, and all these other carbon or these nanometals are getting into your head, you are being purposely mentally dysfunctional. But cartoons are universal. You know, cartoons are universal. So if we can get cartoons up, I can send you the ideas, you can draw the cartoon, send it back, and then we can get it up and going. You know, have a site specifically for messaging people with cartoons. We might reach more. Because like I said, we have become imbeciles. That's what they brought us down to. Think about the Neanderthal and the Cro-Magnon. Think about the two types of species that were on the planet. Now, what if I told you that we did not come from Neanderthal or Cro-Magnon? And what if I told you that that is what they have devolved men and women to, is a state of Neanderthal and Cro-Magnon? In other words, we did not evolve from those, they were devolved to that. The reason why you can't find the missing link is because there is none. And what you have is a de-evolution process that you're seeing here. A restarting or rebooting of mankind, if you will, because again, from there it's supposed to have evolved. But what if everything we've been told about evolution is... Wow, what was that? Hello? Hello? What if everything we were told about evolution was the actual inverse? What if that was everything was backwards? And what if it was not about evolution, but what if it was about de-evolution? What you know? Think about that for a minute. So again, oops. So again, when we're looking at some of the things we've been told, it might be a necessity for us to start thinking in terms of how much of the truth are we really getting? What are we getting? Is it the truth at all? The educational system did a fine job with its programming. But what if some of the things that we've been told have been literally inverted? Just a thought I'm throwing out there. But anyway, back to the cartoonist. So if you know anybody that can draw and wants to get involved and is willing to put in some time, I guess, and we can come up with some ideas and bounce them around and just dedicate a website to that, or maybe a Wix site or whatever, and have everybody start going there. And then you guys can download the cartoons and then share those with other people. How many of you remember the Chick publications? Are any of you familiar with the Chick publications? For those of you who are not familiar with the Chick publications, I'll explain what the Chick publications are. Chick publications were a little tiny little comic book that had biblical stories in there, talking about some of the Old Testament or New Testament biblical stories, and then had a salvation message. It was a little tiny book, no more than probably 10 pages of that, front and back. It's only like about 3 inches in length, about 1.5 inches in height, and probably about not even a quarter of an inch thick. So when we're looking at cartoons, this may be the ticket to talking to some of the people that you're trying to reach, because if we have a cartoon, okay, we're on, good. Yeah, I heard a big ding over here, like a bing. And so I said, okay, do we get targeted? Do we get taken out by aliens? What's going on? Anyway, but we had some cartoonists that could draw. Talk about nano, talk about genetics, talk about vaccines, talk about the political structure, talk about whatever. you know, a 3 or 4 or 5 panel cartoon that we can draw, put together. It could be insurmountably effective as far as telling people the truth about what's going on. If they can't get the cartoon, they're done. That's simple. If they cannot get the cartoon, they're done. That's about as low as you can get on the de-evolution level. Well, today you can go one step lower. You can just hear your program. In other words, the AI will tell you, hey, good morning, get up, you got to go to work, punch your card, you know, you got to be working here today, you're going to be doing this, this, and this, and you don't have to read the instructions, just go there, and the machine will get you started, and you just follow the machine. You know, that's where it's going today. That's where it's going today. So, understand frequencies. Understand programming. Okay, we're all being programmed on some level, subliminal levels through television and radio. We're being programmed through frequencies from these towers and cell phones. We're being hit with all kinds of programming from people you talk to anywhere. You know how many times you get together with people and all they do is talk about the television show the night before. Did you see blah 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 blah? And did you see what he did there? And did you see? And then and you know, and it's all programming. We're talking about a hockey game or a football game. Hey, did you see that arm? Did you see a guy threw 500 yards today? You know, whatever. So you know, he shot 25 goals today. You know, and this is the theme of the distraction. So, like I said, these are all frequencies. You hear the sound of it, but you don't know whether it comes or whether it goes. Okay, towers are pumping frequencies. You don't know which one's pumping. You don't know where it's coming from. You don't know where it's going. But one thing for sure, it is going to hit you somewhere along the way. Somewhere you will be in the path of being targeted. And some way, somehow, when it hits you, it's going to affect you in whatever way or form or fashion it will affect you. Autoimmune disorders are probably the biggest thing going. Keep that in mind. Why are we having autoimmune disorders? Why? Because we have a malfunction going on in our bodies for our DNA to communicate. And we have nano-programming being turned on by frequencies that are affecting our way of doing things. We take genetically engineered seeds and you split them open with electrical charge and you put in a golden pod or dot inside and then you put it in the ground. That golden dot inside will get triggered by an enzyme activity or enzyme reaction, and as a result, now that pod inside the seed is going to now activate and alter the program sequence so that the seed now will do something completely different. So when we're being exposed to these particulates, think of yourself as that seed being loaded into the body so that your genetic code, your DNA, your autoimmune, your mitochondria are now being reprogrammed. Stuff you're eating, the stuff you're drinking, the stuff you're wearing, all has this material in it. For the women and the men, the genitalia, your undergarments will be loaded with nano silver. Some of your clothing is made with this synthetic material, like your socks, maybe some shirts. So be aware that everything that you're doing, everything that you're seeing, everything that you're around is by design trying to alter the way you're programmed. In They Live, if you watch the movie They Live, Piper finds these sunglasses, puts them on, and sees the actual messages behind the subliminal messaging that was put out there. Eat, obey, get pregnant, consume, spend. Those are the things he saw. The very things that were going on today. The very things that are going on today. So, like I said, pay attention to some of the things that are about you. Remember, frequencies, equate the frequencies to spirit or however, can affect you. If I send a frequency and it has your DNA on it, you're going to get hit. End of story. You're going to get hit. Unless you're in a leaded shielded environment or an iron, aluminum shielded environment, you're going to get hit. You're going to get hit. Like I said, we are no longer living in those days. When you're looking at some of the practices that are going on in medicine, how much of that is legit? Someone came in to me today, or contacted me today from the South, next military fellow. He was, talking to me about a health issue, and so I explained to him what to do and what to take and so forth and so on, and basically told him not to eat certain foods because they're designed to hijack the system. He got it. He understood it. He got it. When you're talking about releasing an Agent Orange or a metallic material that's on a nano scale, and you're spraying this across the country or across the nation, this cannot be good for anybody. Nano silica, nano silica, nano iron, nano gold, nano steel, nano copper. These are all horrific when we're exposed to them through consumption or through even just general contact. So again, when we're looking at what do we do? Okay, this is where shielding things come in. This is where grounding straps can come in. This is where building Faraday cages can come in. You may not stop everything going outside, but you can wear certain guards to deflect some of the things you're getting hit with. You can make a copper mesh hat, like we showed you on the YouTube, where you put that on your head and it covers your head like as one layer. You can put another ring on top and use it as a grounding ring, so that when you're laying down, you can connect a ground to that, so that you would have a full night's sleep, or a better sleep as a result of the copper acting as a shield or as a Faraday. So, like I said, you have options in what we can do. Okay, buying these RF shielding guards and making ponchos out of them, or putting them down on a wall behind you if you're getting Wi-Fi. You can build your own little repulsor unit like I did, face it against the wall, and again, so to disengage any frequencies coming through the wall. Lots of things we can do. In regard to what we can do. If you understand the tech, you can build something similar without having the added antennas connected to the new tech. 5G is coming out. We were talking about that earlier today. It's already started in Canada. In some places, they've already been building it, or already have been putting it in place. The 5G itself, the equipment, is again what it's putting out. You're going to have to understand how to deflect that or how to direct it somewhere else, because if not, you will get a full-on hit. That's what they're doing. So again, it's good to study low and high frequencies. Here, I'll let you see if I got something here. Somebody sent this to me. When you guys can get a chance, go look at a PDF. It's called Development of Extremely... Oh, we got music. When we come back, we'll talk about this document. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, welcome back to the second half of the Remedy. Hi, I'm your host, Tony ntalleresco, and you're listening to us live on the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. Okay, you're in the chat room. I'm going to give you a link on the ELF shielding. I want you guys to have it, just read it, share it with everybody else, and come up with some ideas. Okay, I'm giving you these documents. These do not necessarily reflect that this is the gospel according to whatever. This is an idea. Okay, ideas that you can apply so that you can start getting prepared for 5G and other things. Hold on a second. There we go. There you go. So again, when we're looking at some of the stuff that you're again dealing with, again, here we are. We're in the year 2018. You know, this is becoming more and more climatic by the year in regard to the assimilation and the taking over, basically, of life as we know it. When the Internet of Things becomes the reality, in other words, if you want to do anything, you're going to be doing it in that realm. And if you're not in that realm, you won't be able to function because everybody else is going to be in that realm. It's getting to the point now. Have you ever noticed that when you go shopping? Okay, I was at a Home Depot the other day, and normally Home Depot has 1 or 2 people operating a manual till. But this one I went to, they stopped doing it. Now they just got all these automated tills. Now, myself personally, I'm not fond of these things. Anyway, it's going to come to a point where a lot of people are not even going to go out and shop anymore because it's just going to be one major hassle. Can you imagine you get somebody up in the front who doesn't have any knowledge of computer technology or computer savvy trying to make this thing work, and he's there for an hour trying to run his stuff through? It's going to be a disaster and a fiasco. So anyway, the point is this: these technologies are going to be around you. No way around it. Unless you bought a house and you're out in the bush somewhere, you're underground 30 feet, got it isolated with iron and aluminum, or copper and aluminum, or you got a heavy duty amount of concrete and lead in between, you are going to get hit with some kind of frequency exposure. So if that's the case and you're in the community, a big community, a fairly big community, and this kind of thing goes on, it's going to be incredible. The amount of people are going to get arrested for crimes they never committed. Because the Internet of Things will have no check and balance. Even the judges in the future will be all tied to a computer. They're already saying that the computer knows all the laws, and it has debated lawyers and has beaten lawyers. So the next step is a judge. We're going to have judge machine. Judge machine, meet your, in your courtroom today we have so-and-so. So judge machine, we need you to pass judgment on flesh and blood. Get the picture? We need you to pass judgment on flesh and blood. So again, if you can't make it stop, or if you can't do anything about it, next best thing then is to hide your stuff. Don't leave it open. Wrap it up in radio frequency shielding. Put it in a lead box, whatever it is you're doing, and keep that out of touch, out of sight, out of mind. If you're traveling, would not be a bad idea to put your money in one of those pouches that block radio frequencies of the phone. Because it's been told, and I've said this before, that in some places of the United States and Canada, the police drive along, pull you over because they find that you've got money on you. They've read it through a money reader, and they say, well, you could be a drug lord or a drug dealer, so we're taking the money. If you're in Canada, don't go down to Georgia, because there's a gal that went down to Georgia, and they did not even recognize her driver's license. And they charge her a whopping $1,600, which she's now trying to get back. If the state of Georgia does not recognize a Canadian license, then you might want to go somewhere else and not through Georgia. Just a thought. See, if everybody started taking the initiative and quit supporting a system that isn't working and is breaking down and broken down and disintegrating right in front of us, then if you can't see that, and you can't see that the amount of corruption that's going on, you're done. But if you can see it, you can get prepared for it. Okay, that's what you need to do. Get prepared. Because, like I said, we are in those days. Being prepared means a lot of different things today, just so you know. It's not just a simple, you know, I got this year's groceries or whatever. It's a long haul. It's like when Joseph saw a division of the famine in Egypt, 7 years. Well, we're told that there's going to be 3.5 years of yay, yippee-yi-yo, ki-yay, and 3.5 years of just death and destruction. So you might want to start getting ready now. That's just my thinking. If you haven't started, you might want to start. Because we don't really know about a lot of what these verses actually are meaning, but they're all indicating something is coming down the pipe. So don't take it lightly. And you know what's interesting too? The native belief systems are saying similar aspects in the prophecies. The Middle Eastern are seeing the same similarities to the prophecies, you know, in other parts of the world. So it's an interesting perspective that people are seeing whatever it is they're seeing today and not just getting sucked into some new age malarkey that doesn't work. You know, that's always been the theme, you know, giving you something that doesn't work. Here, buy this. It doesn't work, but buy it anyway. Give me 1 second here. Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, I'm just looking at the thing here. Well, that's silver. Well, we're talking as well about foods and nano and, you know, different things. You know, be on your guard. Seriously. Okay, things that we need to do, because again, people that called me up were, like I said, pretty distressed and duressed. And the key to this, as best as I can see, based on my own personal experience with it and based on the people we've helped with it, anything you do right now that's going to go toward repairing your body in regard to nano poisoning is going to take you a long time to fix. Unless there's divine intervention and he shakes that crap out of you, you're going to be here for a long time fighting this stuff. So some of the things you might want to use are peanut butter, not peanut butter, sorry, butter, garlic, rosemary, mix them together and consume them. This will help again in the detoxification from the respiratory to the liver, and the rosemary will protect the liver. If you want to make it with a liposome, you can do the same thing. You can either buy liquid lecithen, sunflower lecithen, or powder, mix them together, blend them up until they're smooth again, and at the end of it all, add a little copper and zinc to it, mix it up really good. So when you consume these foods are going to have the added protection required so that you can function again, so that you can, you know, move about and function. Because like I said, if you don't start using things to remove the excessive load that you are acquiring in the system, it's going to continually grow and manifest in some form or other. So it's imperative that you get prepared. It's imperative that you understand the nature of preparation. You can also take something like DMSO. Put a cap of DMSO into about 4 ounces of water, and if you want to add salt with it, like cesium chloride or potassium chloride or sodium chloride, this can help in itself help detox a lot of things in the head. It'll act like a saline solution when it hits the body because the DMSO will transfer that into the bloodstream. So these are some things you can do to help keep the system clean. You go in the hospital, what's the first thing they put into you? Salt. You know what they put into you? Salt. So again, keep that in mind. Salt. We're going to put salt into you. Again, because of the way it purifies and pulls toxins out. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You know, you are nobody's garbage disposal. Unfortunately, if you're on a moving, what was I thinking here? I lost my thought for a second. I was thinking about two different things at one time. Because my head was going on different patterns here, and I just lost that thought for a second. But if you're doing stuff that we need to get stuff out of the brain, for instance, using the DMSO with the salt and sodium will help pull it out. We're gonna make something similar to what do you call those? Those saline drips that they give you in the hospital. Same kind of thing. So basically, you're taking a cap or 5 mils or 1 teaspoon of DMSO into approximately 4 ounces of water, distilled water, mix it up really well, and then add your salt to it, and then use like teaspoon increments, or rub it on an area. This should help in removing and alleviating a lot of issues that we're dealing with. So again, this is another simple little thing that we can be doing to help, again, fight off whatever we're dealing with. So it's important that you understand how to fight. How do we fight this? First and foremost, you got to recognize your enemy. The enemy is 5G. The enemy is the smart towers. The enemy is the smartphones. The enemy is the cell phones. The enemy is the genetically engineered foods, the epigenetics and the transgenetics in the food supply. You know, once we recognize that, then we look for neutrality. If we can't get rid of it, then we look to neutralize it. This is what you have to do. So again, keep that in mind when you're out and about, that if you're looking for anything you're doing, that you have to be prepared in how to detox the stuff out. Going outside, this is another thing I want to point out. If you're going outside and you're starting to jog, you're going to run because you want to lose those 50 pounds of excess body weight, you are going to be breathing in 4 times more of the nanoparticles in the air. And eventually we'll catch up to you, because it's catching up to people here that train. What you might be wanting to do, if you're going to do this kind of training, do it indoors. Okay, you're going to still breathe in a lot more, but at least it'll be minimized because of all the other devices you have in your home. But it's important that you, again, when you're doing whatever you're doing, eating whatever you're eating, you figure out, you know, why you're eating it and what it's going to do for you, and should you eat it. Okay, it's really important to understand it, because if your food supply is loaded with nano, then you are going to have a problem sooner or later. It will manifest. It will show itself one way or another, either through bumps and knots all over your body, crystalline material. It'll come at you with nanomaterial. I mean, it's a hideous thing to be hit with. Hideous. Keep things in mind. Okay, before I go on, let me present an activist radio station, the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. It's an activist show because it's an activist network, because it allows activism to come on the show and tell you the truth best as they know it. So again, support them any way you can and give him your support. Give him a shout. Hey, how can we help? How can we help? ByeByeBlueSky.com. Again, I talked about this. She's on YouTube. Again, geoengineering and globalism. It's a YouTube interview she did with Stephen Garvey, founder and leader of the National Citizens Alliance. Again, you might want to check her out, check out what she did. We also got the Bylar, sorry, not the Bylar, we got the other coils as well that we show how to defend. So she talks a little bit about some stuff in there. You got Brian396.com, check him out. Again, check out his information. Then you got me at augmentandforce.com. Check out what I'm doing there. Check out the catalog link if you're interested in anything there. Take the information, download it, read it, study it, make yourself familiar with it, so you're not misled with bad science. Alrighty. So again, when you get a chance, well, if you need it, and if you need a consultation, number's 519-977-5351 or independs@yahoo.com. Alrighty, so we got that out, got it going. Let me see here, I had something else. Give me 1 second. There's something else I want to put out there. Oh, maybe it's not here. Give me a second. Well, do your research. When you're doing a research, there's a thing called Jibberoo. I don't know if any of you know about it, but Jibberoo allows you to do researches online without being followed. Now, if you open up Jibberoo, there's another place there where you can actually come out of the United Kingdom or the Netherlands. And what that does is if you go there and put your USP over there, per se, you can do it with a flip of a button. It'll allow you to access other sites that otherwise may not be accessible. So this is something you may want to check out and try to see how unaccessible some things are. But you may find that these things will make a big difference in some of the things you're looking at. So this is another site. Check it out. This is for, again, looking for nano-load RU/RU/, you know what to do, I just put this in the chat room. Give me 1 second. Oop, check it out. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the nano stuff here. Anyway, check out, no, I'm going to put this on the webpage. Hold on. The wrong thing popped up. Always happens. Give me a second. Oh. Where do we go? Oh, man, what happened here? Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's the link. Oops. Wrong thing hit. Here we go. Let me try this again. Oop, wrong one. Uh-oh. It just took off on me. Isn't this weird? Let's see here. Directory. No, that ain't it. The page decided to leave. Can you believe this? It decided to leave. That's funny. Anyway, I don't know if this is it here, if it took it or not. Okay, I think it did. Okay, it's in the chat room. You see the academic.oup. This is going to give you some research and things to check out. I think it'd be good for everybody to start reading some of this research. Get familiar with it. It may be hard reading initially till you get used to it, but then as time goes on, you'll be very well versed in it. So again, I would suggest that you continue to, do your homework. Don't let anybody just tell you some stuff and you go along with it without first checking it out. That would be the best advice anybody can give you. Do your research. Get in your preparation. Anything you're doing today will more than likely will have to get neutralized. Whether you're using your hands, washing your hands, you'll have to neutralize them. So some of the things that you can do is a simple little brush and soap and just really scour the fingernails really well to get the nano dust out from underneath the nails. So this is important that you recognize if it can embed itself in somebody, it can embed itself in you too. Just a thought for you to get. Oop. Geez, what happened? I lost my thought. I got hit with something. All right. Anyway, get prepared. Be prepared. Protect yourselves. Again, use the EDTAs when you have to. And then take minerals. Use DTPA. Do some research on DTPA to remove harmful radiation out of the body. You might want to look at the sodium thiosulfate as well, again, to help the body purge some of these heavy metals, heavy concentrated nanoparticles. When we're talking heavy metals, again, let me remind you, and we're talking heavy metals when it comes to nano, it's not about how heavy it weighs, it's how dense the saturation point is with these particulates. And when they get in, they literally reorient everything. They change everything. They change every aspect of your cell, your DNA and whatnot, because of the high concentration of the particles embedding themselves in the system. So it's going to be a daily routine for a lot of you for quite some time to get your loads down to a manageable level. Keep that in mind. So again, because, and especially if you see heavier days of rain, not rain, but heavier days of chemtrailing, you may be getting something else dumped on you. So make sure you're taking the anti-biofilm material or anything that's going to have the capacity to knock something out of your respiratory tract so you don't absorb it and don't wind up having breathing issues, because they're putting stuff into the rain and the snow as well. Oh, did I hear something? Okay, so there's something called, that's what I wanted to show. Give me a second here. I knew there was something else. There's a term here, if I can get to it before we, give me a second here. There's a term here that they're using for the material they're using to deliver whatever. Trying to think where the heck it is now. Maybe it's this one here. Let me double check here. No, that's a different one. Anyway, it's a material that they're using that it's made out of wood fiber, and it's used as a carrier to carry all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those things that they put out there. It's called an elastomer or something like that. Anyway, we'll talk about it next week. All right, here's the music. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Until then, get informed, cooperate, save the planet. All right, talk to you in a bit.